Hey, this is Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Hey, let's talk about changing a corner brawl. Ways you can be effective in a medium in a heavy corner brawl. Before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about positioning and why I even took my medium into a heavy corner brawl. I've loaded into Swamp, Tier 8, top tier. You can see that the teams are fairly even. If you take a look and analyze the teams like I did when I first loaded in, I noted that both teams had the same amount of heavies and mediums, more or less, as tier 8s. And because it is swamp and you've got the castle there in the southwest part of the map, teams that are comprised of a lot of heavies tend to want to go there. So they're going to go to where their strength is. Both these teams have a strength of heavies, so I assumed that both teams would go to the southwest and play to their strengths. There were a number of mediums in the middle, but none of them were particularly fast on either side. So while the fight could happen up in the northeast, typically that fight takes a while to develop. So even if you send a few tanks up there, more than likely you have time to finish the brawl down in the southwest. So I am not going to take my medium to the quote-unquote traditional spot. I am actually going to head up to where the heavies are, and I'm going to add a little X factor into a corner brawl that I assume is going to happen. The good news about a medium, and to some extent that T26 behind me there and the IS3, is it's fast. So fast heavies or relatively fast to fast mediums can get up into the castle here and get into an advantageous micro position. So the main position being getting up into the castle, the micro position being where I am going. So we are going to head up into here. I am assuming I will get here first. The one thing I do need to pay attention to is, will the other team send their mediums up here? And will I have to deal with them? But it doesn't look like it. The CDC would be the one I'd worry about, being already up and around the corner there. Usually you're going to see somebody right there. So the IS3 is relatively fast. I'm just going to take a look, and here he comes. I'll just shoot him as he comes, back up. And now I'm using this building. So they're tucking up behind the castle right there. The IS-3 is continuing, but I have quite a few friends coming up here. A T-26 hold down, an IS-3. You'll see some of the enemy filter into the castle. Some of them hug the wall right there. But I'm the X factor. I've taken this position behind this building right here, and I'm able to come out from either side of that building and deal with tanks that are coming in. IS-3 is getting punished, and I'm paying attention to what he's doing, where his turret is, and when he is fired. So I had an opportunity to pop out. He's staring at me. The T-32 is staring at me, so I'm going to sit for a moment. I do need to be cognizant of the T-32. If I come out at too much of an angle or back up too much, I may get hit by him in the side. Bad shot, end up not killing the IS-3. Look at the IS-3, he's pointing at the tanks on the corner. He fires, and now I've got time to come out on his reload. And I'm going to take a nice careful aim on that one and take him down. Here comes the T-29. You can see we've stacked up two IS-6s and the T-32. The KV-5 and the Super are going to go ahead and go into the castle. So you can see at least one of their mediums had a similar idea and pushed up into the heavy brawl zone. Up in the northeast, get a shot on them, on the T-29. Up in the northeast, you'll notice that not much is developed. Kind of a campathon up there, and we've got some guys on the ridge, so we're fine. The T-29 goes down, and now I'm able to use both sides of this building. You'll notice I am covered by that extra little building there, so the IS-6 is not paying attention. I'll just pop out and take a shot on him. Now he's paying attention. T-32 is just fired. He has a relatively long reload, so I should be able to just back up here with some decent speed and get a shot on him, which I do. Now I'm looking to maybe come on the other side of the IS-6, who is now not paying attention to me again. That's a bounce that time. And I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth, being somewhat unpredictable, although I'm still lit. But both those guys are very worried about the IS-3, Tiger P, and Low. So they're in a really bad spot with four of us working on them, and I am able to pop around. Now I'm going to shift around and side scrape here. Not the greatest side scraper ever, but it does the job. He's actually going to snap a shot off right there and get me. Happens. I'll shoot right in that weak spot right there. And the reload on a medium is good harassing fire, dealing with heavies in a heavy brawl. So you can see with the agility of the tank relative, it is a Panther, so it's not that agile, but it's fast enough for what I'm working with here. The relatively fast reload and the decent alpha damage, I am able to be a real pain for those tanks right there, and they're not able to pay full attention to our tanks that were on the corner. In addition to that, instrumental to taking out the IS-3 and the T-29, who were unable to move up into these buildings and be a problem for our guys right there. And it only took one of us to do it. Me got in there and was a factor. So I've dealt 2,400 in the heavy brawl area, and now it is cleanup on aisle 2. Lots of campers for them. They didn't push very hard, but you can tell where some of the hit points are. We'll come around here. IS-6 will shoot me naturally. Why not? He's trying to get away. Probably a good idea for him, but I don't think he's going to make it. Nope. And now we've dealt with these guys. Okay, so decision point. We've taken the castle in the southwest. Do we all rage forward towards their cap and their campers up here? Or do we come back to our cap, or at least to the middle, and make sure something silly doesn't happen where 3 guys pile on? Let's see how it develops. I obviously make the mistake to head back to the mistake. Not the mistake, the decision to head back to cap. Looks like the T-26 is going that way. There is a 3601 hanging out, but the majority of the team pushes right at the enemy. So I have made a decision to go back to cap, make sure that something silly doesn't happen. In addition, this is gather as much hit points time as possible. And I'm assuming that they may be looking to try to jump on cap to save this one. And here comes the Cromwell, who's on pretty good hit points. There's an FV up there as well. All of our tanks are pushing into theirs. That's going to be a feeding frenzy over there, and it's going to be difficult to get any damage out of those tanks that are hanging out on their ridge because so many guns are going to be firing at them at once. I'm going to come over here where we have fewer guns, and I am probably able to take on nearly anything they've got and see how many hit points of damage I can get out of these guys. Okay, only one shot on the Cromwell. That's too bad, but look at this, the 42, 4502, 4202. How many numbers is that? Is hanging out up here, not really paying attention. And I wish I had just kept pressing up on him. That was a mistake to back up. There was no real need to do that. It was in the back of mind. Didn't want to get hit by the RHM, but he is so busy right now with the enemy. So I'm going to come around here, or with my team. Shoot him in the back, ram him, get a few more hit points on the ram. Might as well. Just keep bothering him and pushing him so it's difficult for him to get a shot on me. Keep on angling and whatnot. And he gets killed by somebody else. Now I won't get any more hit points because the Su-14 gets run over by the Tiger P, and the CDC is about to lose out to 3 or 4 tanks in the feeding frenzy. And I end up with 4,089 hit points, an ace tanker with a Panther 8.8 going to the heavy brawl zone over there in the southwest. So analyzing the fight from the beginning, understanding what's probably going to happen when it did pan out that way, taking up a good micro position in the southwest where I can enhance the combat effectiveness of my guys on the corner, and then just being as unpredictable to the enemy as possible. Unpredictable in that I was seen, but which side I'm coming out, and just farming damage as I went. So I hope this helps. You medium drivers, every once in a while get into that heavy brawl zone, can be a real combat multiplier for your team. Take it easy.